Live, not yet. Now we're live.
What is up, everybody? Olivia Moody here with another episode of Pass the Spread. I am joined by Nick Yahl and Jeff Parles, Bookit's very own. Let's talk some football. The NFL is fleeting. We have the big game this weekend. The challenge is still up and running. We're not going to talk about who's on top because it's no longer me, so we're not going to discuss it. However, we need to start making our picks because, like I said, there's a lot riding on this one. This is the final stretch for the challenge between the Bookit squad members. So are we any closer to making our picks? Have we locked it in? Nick, let's start with you. You're usually pretty secretive about this until the big game happens.
Yeah, as the leader in the clubhouse right now, I have been pretty secretive about what my pick is going to be, but we will reveal it now. We are betting on the Bucks money line. I bet this probably 10, 12 days ago before the line went down. I got it at plus 150, which is the best it's been at yet. So I was patting myself on the back there. Again, I don't know. It seemed like good value. I know a lot of people are on the Chiefs, rightfully so, defending champions. But Tom Brady, he's got 6 rings, going for number 7 this time around. Kind of hard to bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs. I've done it twice already and been on the wrong side. So we're going to try betting with Tom Brady. I'm not a Tom Brady fan as a former St. Louis Rams fan. I don't like Tom Brady, but in this spot, he is the GOAT, and it's good value. So I like the Buccaneers on the money line.
I like it. I actually saw an article that said Tom Brady does not like being called the GOAT. Believe it or not.
Good.
He doesn't like it. So I don't know.
Fire him up.
I would like
reaction, Nick.
I would like it. Whatever. Jeff, are you with Nick on this one, or are you on the other side?
Negative. Not with Nick on this. I have a Chief future that dates back to the first month of the season at about 5-1. So we're gonna let that thing ride. If I were to bet here on this game, I'll wait for this money line to drop down for KC, where I've already seen it drop from minus 175 down to minus 162 in some spots. The way that the Super Bowl patterns usually go, the public comes flying into town on Friday and Saturday, and Super Bowl Sunday, it's late in the day. You have till 3:30 on the West Coast, till almost 7 o'clock on the East Coast to just fire away, and a lot of the public will just fire on Tom Brady and the underdog, so that price is going to keep going down and down and down. So I'm going to wait and see if KC gets to about minus 150 or anything lower than that. And at that price, I would advocate laying with Kansas City. To me, they're still significantly the better team. Even with their offensive line questions, it's still going to take a lot for Tampa to win this game. So I am not on the same side as Nick here.
Wow. I actually
disagree. Shocking.
I actually am on the same side as Nick in this one. I like Bucks money line. I think it's really hard to win the Super Bowl twice. I also think the Bucks defense looked really, really good, and I have liked watching them. If they can put some pressure on Mahomes, it'll be hard for the Chiefs to win this one, in my opinion, but they've got to put pressure on him, and if they don't, it's going to be I think regardless, we're going to see a very close game. I like the over in this one as well. I think we're going to see lots of scoring. I hope we do anyways, because that's what I bet on. So I'm actually with Nick on this one. It may never happen again, but for now, I like Bucks ML. So leading into my next thing, we've got the MVP. You can place a bet on where the value is for the MVP. Jeff, let's start with you. Where's the best value for the Super Bowl MVP?
It's on the 2 quarterbacks because going through it earlier in the week, quarterbacks win this award more time than not. 30 out of 54 have won. It's been the quarterback since Super Bowl 40 when Hines Ward won the MVP for Pittsburgh. We've had 14 Super Bowls since. It's been 9 quarterbacks have won the MVP since that Super Bowl. The most recent non-quarterback was Julian Edelman 2 Super Bowls ago. That was a horrible game. So the value is on Mahomes at plus 115. It's on the value of Brady at plus 250. To go non-quarterback, though, I would go with Shaq Barrett or Jason Pierre-Paul because I really just don't see a path if Kansas City wins to a non-Patrick Mahomes MVP. But if Tampa wins, it could be because those pass rushers go crazy, and it's a Von Miller-style type victory for Tampa Bay where Miller won the MVP in Super Bowl 50. So I actually have a small little sprinkle on Shaq Barrett at 60-1 to win the MVP. But in the end, the value is on Mahomes at plus 115. It's on Brady at plus 250.
Jeff, do you mind reminding the people what team Von Miller was playing for when he won Super Bowl?
I don't really want to remember that Super Bowl. I had a Carolina future that died on the vine in that game, but of course, it was Peyton Manning's corpse in the Denver Broncos who won Super Bowl 50 in that game.
Yes, we did. I'm not on the team, not we, but yeah, big fan. Nick, Super Bowl MVP, where's the value for you?
Yeah, Jeff's right. It's going to be on the quarterbacks. Really, there's in this scenario with these two teams, unless Tyreek Hill has a crazy game, it's going to be Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, unless something absolutely wild happens. Mentioned Jason Pierre-Paul. That is the matchup to watch. I've said it before in this game. No Eric Fisher at left tackle. JPP is on that side. That's the whole. That's one of the big reasons I'm betting the Bucs money line here is because JPP is gonna get after Patrick Mahomes, and therefore I do think that if Patrick Mahomes doesn't have as good of a game and the Bucs end up winning this, the value's there for Tom Brady. I saw it at plus 200 currently, and so I like the value in Tom Brady. Don't really think there's any chance much whatsoever that it's going to be one of the other players that isn't named Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady.
Let the record show I am agreeing with Nick again. It will probably never happen again.
First.
However, I do like Tom Brady here, despite him not liking being called the GOAT. He is the GOAT, and I have the Bucs just win outright here. So Tom Brady, he's got to have a great game for them to win outright. He's going to win MVP. It's going to be great. Cool. Let's move on. Let's talk some Super Bowl player props. We do a little segment here called Book It or Cook It. Book it means you like the player prop and you will put money on it. Cook it means it's not worth it. You don't see the value there. So let's start with Jeff. Any wide receiver or tight end to have 100 plus receiving yards. Book it or cook it.
Well, it all depends on the number here. If you can get a plus price, yeah, go ahead, fire. You can book it. If not, don't. But assuming this is a plus price, we'll book it. I think it's Travis Kelce is going to be your guy to look at here to get you there. He's just uncoverable at this point. And even with those elite linebackers that Tampa has, just going to be difficult for them to cover it. And, of course, Tyreek Hill went for 200-plus yards against Carlton Davis when these teams matched up to the Sunday after Thanksgiving. So you also have an out there. So assuming it's a plus price, I would book it here for someone to go 99 and over 99 and a half receiving yards.
Love it. Nick, are you agreeing here? Book it or cook it?
Yeah, I'm booking it here as well. Like Jeff mentioned, the Chiefs are a passing offense, and even if the Tampa Bay secondary has a better game, you still got Tyreek Hill on the edge, and you risk the chance that Tyreek Hill busts one off for 70 and a touchdown early on in the game. He does that quite a bit, and so it looks nice there. If not, if they play back, you got Travis Kelce underneath, and then on the Bucs side of the ball, Mike Evans playing the best football of the year right now for Tampa Bay as Tom Brady's number one go-to target in the end zone deep. He had some big plays against New Orleans, had some big plays against Green Bay. Look for Mike Evans to have another big game in this one.
I like it. Nick, we'll start with you this time. Any player to rush for 100-plus yards. Do you see the value here, or are you cooking it?
I'll cook this one in the trash. I don't like this one at all. I think these two offenses are passing offenses. If either one gets up late in the game, they will start running the ball, but both are backfield by committee. Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones now healthy with that hamstring, so I think they're going to be splitting carries. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be splitting carries with the KC backfield, so I don't really like any of these guys to go over 100 yards because of the passing threat that both sides bring. And these defenses are good, especially up the middle on both sides of the ball. So I'm going to go under 100 rushing yards. I'm cooking this one on the running backs.
Jeff, are you in agreement? Do you see value here, or are you cooking it as well?
I mean that number should be really high, and if it's not even like remotely close to 5-1, it's an easy cook. And I don't know if anyone's going to get over 80 in this game rushing yards wise. It just is not how this game is going to play out. I think Kansas City is going to be throwing a ton, and I wouldn't be shocked if Patrick Mahomes is their leading rusher when this game is all said and done. And on the Tampa side, I mean, in order to win this game, I know KC's run defense has not been good this year, but my anticipation, it would be a dink and dunk passing game that would get it done for Tampa. So I don't want any part of this. Even if the number is pretty high on that plus price, which I'd imagine it would be, I still cook it. I don't want to bet it.
Okay, so we're saying that we don't see a lot of potential for rushing in this game, which means we will probably see a lot of passing. We've got two very strong quarterbacks that pass the ball a lot. So where's the value here? Are we booking it or cooking it? Both teams combined over 4.5 passing touchdowns. Jeff, let's start with you first.
You've got to assume that this is probably around the pick, like a -110 on both sides on the 4.5. Knowing Mahomes' touchdown prop is 2.5 and Brady's is 2. So, look, in the end here, I would probably lean towards booking it. It's tough, though. You're asking for a lot. You're asking for 5 touchdown passes between these two teams in the Super Bowl. But look, even in a game where Patrick Mahomes did not have it a year ago in the Super Bowl, he still found a way to get 2 in the fourth quarter a year ago. So I would lean towards booking it here. And like I said, I expect more passing than running in this game.
Nick, you agree? Book it or cook it?
Yeah, to me, this is an easy book. I think if you looked at the last game they played, I think there was like 7 combined touchdowns, and certainly both these DBs, these secondaries, are going to try to limit the opportunity to take the top off on the offense. So they'll give up everything pretty much underneath, get it down into the red zone. The defense play well at the line of scrimmage, and so I think it'll be Travis Kelce, it'll be Mike Evans fade in the end zone. It'll be Tyreek Hill, Michael Harden. Gronkowski even may get one, so I am going to book this one.
Okay. We're getting the two gentlemen agreeing. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a really scary thing. However, we'll take it.
Both. Both. It's both. It works both ways.
Antonio Brown is back in the game. Antonio Brown over 37.5 receiving yards. Nick, let's start with you. Is there value, or are we cooking this one?
No chance he gets over 37.5 yards. He's just not their big play threat. He's their fifth option at this point. I mean, I think I'd rather throw to Tyler Johnson or to Scotty Miller at this point if I'm Tom Brady for making those big plays. I just don't see any value in Antonio Brown getting more than 3 targets and 1 catch in this game.
Jeff, you agree?
We'll cook mostly because, and look, I like Chris Godwin's receiving total over, and I like Cameron Brate's receiving total over. If you're going over on 2 guys, where are you finding the other results here? That's where it kind of gets a little bit shoddy. So I would go cook it. I think it's probably an under on Brown. And I tend to agree with Nick. I don't think it's going to be a lot of targets. You're going to need, in order to go over, you're going to probably need Antonio Brown to get this on 1 catch, which could happen. Brown could have a 45-yard catch and you lose your under. It's possible, but I would lean towards cooking this.
Okay, so a no for Antonio Brown. Got it.
No for Antonio Brown.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire over 30.5 rushing yards. Are we yesing him? Jeff, let's start with you. Book it or cook it?
You know, early in the week, I was full on with this. I'm going to still lean towards book it. Again, Nick and I would go into college in Missouri, and just knowing how a lot of our friends end up working in media in Kansas City or St. Louis in the state and have a lot of connections and cover the Chiefs every single week. Talking with multiple people that cover the Chiefs, I told them, hey, I think I really like Edwards-Helaire over 32.5, which it was earlier. Like, yeah, don't do that. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant, but I still lean book it because I think with the utilization of the running backs for Kansas City, Edwards-Helaire will be the one who gets the carries. Darrell Williams will be the one who gets the targets when they're passing. So that would be why I lean towards booking it with Edwards-Helaire over 30.5 rush yards.
Nick, do we agree here?
Yeah, you're going up against a tough Tampa defense. That's why this thing is dropping a little bit, especially right up the middle. But the reason I'm booking this is because Kansas City is up in the game. Kansas City is going to change their play style than they have during the regular season. Big game on Sunday. It's going to be completely different. You throw everything out the window that you did earlier in the season. You do whatever you need to do to win the game. Andy Reid will run the ball late in the game. If they're up and they need to run clock, they will run the ball, and they will do it with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, even though that is a very stout run defense for Tampa Bay. They will still utilize Clyde Edwards-Helaire to run the ball. And if he gets 20 yards in the first half, I think that one's looking pretty good.
Awesome. So that's it for the football talk. Again, we're closing out on this NFL season. I'm not sure what we're going to do with our weekends moving forward, but we'll figure it out. Let's talk NBA. This is totally up my alley. You guys know I love some NBA basketball, so we're going to get into it. What is your favorite NBA play for tonight? We have quite a few games on the slate. Nick, let's start with you. What is your favorite?
Yeah, I like Boston tonight. It's only at -110. They're playing Sacramento, not a great team, and the Celtics, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, they're starting to figure things out. Played the Lakers close. I think the Lakers only won that game by point. And so I like the Celtics at -110. I think this probably should favor the Celtics a little bit more at like -130, -140. So I like the value there for Boston.
I like it. Jeff, what is the move for you tonight in the NBA?
Yeah, not a great slate because there's a lot of injury sit-out questions still to be had here. But I'll look towards the Cavs for the second straight past the spread that I've been on. Getting the points against the Clippers. Clippers obviously come off that emotional game, a back-and-forth game in Brooklyn last night that they lost in the end. But in the end here, I expect we might not see Kawhi or Paul George tonight. It's absolutely possible that that's the case. So we're going to take the 9 with the Cavaliers tonight against the Clippers.
I like it. I like Hawks +1.5. I tweeted it. I posted it on Book It. The Dallas Mavericks are the most overrated team right now. I cannot stand watching them play basketball. They have no depth to their roster whatsoever. Luka is going to need back surgery from carrying this team on it this whole entire season. My God, I could go on for days. That team drives me nuts. And Luka is the only one pulling his weight. So I like the Hawks here to cover. I think they've got a little bit more depth. I think they do rely on Trae Young quite a bit offensively. However, I think they've got more depth than the Dallas Mavericks. So I'm taking the dog on this one. Hawks +1.5. I may just sprinkle on the money line as well. We'll have to see how much anger I have towards the Mavs by tonight.
Do it.
So for tonight, speaking of, let's talk totals. The highest total tonight is 233.5. This is Pacers at Bucks. And the lowest total is 216.5. Knicks at Bulls. Would you touch either? Jeff, let's start with you.
Make it very simple so you can go right to Nick. No thank you on either. Nick.
Nick, do you agree?
No, I'm going to go the under on the 233.5 Pacers at Bucks. I don't think the Pacers are going to put up quite as many points as some people think they were. Bucks will get their points, but I think the Bucks can hold Indianapolis in check to get the under in the 233.5. That's a large number. That's a very large number.
I like it. I stay away from totals in the NBA. My God, you never know what you're going to get. So I'm kind of with Jeff on this one. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I'm leaving the totals alone. Well, I just took it. So I want to hear, you guys know I love my NBA player props. I am always cooking up some player props, whether it's a same game parlay or just straight bets for the props. I want to know 2 player props that you guys like tonight. I'm going to flip the script. Nick, let's start with you. What do you like?
Yeah, we'll go Ben Simmons over 7.5 rebounds against Mikey Over's Hornets tonight. Ben Simmons not one of their big scorers. Usually they go work it inside to Joel Embiid, but he's been hitting right at 8 rebounds recently. So we'll go the over 7.5 there. And another game you've already talked about, Trae Young, over 30 points tonight against the Mavericks. Trae Young is a scoring machine. He's hit that in the past 2 out of 3 games. The only one where he didn't, he got 28 against the Nets, which their defense is absolutely abysmal too. So I would expect him to get more there. But Trae Young is just dropping in buckets right now. So I'm going to go over 30 points. Both of those are plus money right now. So there's some good value.
I thought about taking Ben Simmons in a player prop today, and Mikey Over said I wouldn't put my last breathing dollar. I don't know exactly what he said, but he had a lot of hatred in his voice when I was talking about
Philadelphia. He loved his Hornets.
I don't know. I think because, by the way, it's Mikel Over, actually, Nick. You got. If you're gonna get the name right, if you're gonna change the name, you got to get it right. But I would be more willing to go with Nick on this for Simmons, but I guess I'll just hop in with mine because I know, Olivia, you and I actually are going to see eye to eye on one of these.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid's point total over 26.5. Just not a good matchup for Charlotte, and Embiid playing it at MVP clip. I expect a big game out of Joel yet again. Of course, he didn't play actually Philly's last game, so fresh as well. So over 26.5 there. And we'll keep it with some Philadelphia flavor. The Villanova guy, Dante DiVincenzo. We're going to go over 9.5 on the big ragu tonight. Again, like we mentioned, the game has the highest total, Milwaukee and Indiana. The Ragu's averaging 9.5 points right on the button right now. So I think we're going to go over his point average. We're going to go over 9.5, make 3 threes, get to the free throw line. Let's make this thing easy for the big Ragu over his 9.5.
I like it. Yes, I am with you. Joel Embiid over 26.5 points. I'm surprised this line is not higher. He has hit this over in his last 5 matchups and then some. So I really like that. I was surprised to see it sitting where it was. So I grabbed it 26.5 and I'm happy with that. I also like, I'm not entirely convinced on this one, but I'm hoping that I am on the right track. Devontae Graham over 3.5 made threes. We have no PJ Washington or Terry tonight. So he definitely has a chance. He also takes like 7 3-point shots. So I'm hoping he can make 4 of them. That's my thought process with those player props. So love it, fellas. Maybe I'll start asking you guys for advice before I do my prop lock and drop it.
Prop lock and drop it.
Okay, moving on. Last but not least, in the basketball world, I have not been betting a ton on college hoops, but we do have some matchups. There are no ranked matchups, however. So who should we be on the lookout for an upset alert? Jeff, let's start with you.
This is just the spot fade more than anything. Virginia Tech's coming off their biggest win of the year. They outscored Virginia by 20 points in the last 11 minutes of the game to come from double digits down to win pretty comfortably against their in-state rival, I should say, at home in Blacksburg. Va Tech goes on the road tonight. They're a 4-point favorite against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has not been in the greatest form recently, but this feels like a good spot to fade the Hokies coming off their biggest win of the year. So I think Virginia Tech should be on upset alert as a 4-point favorite. I probably will end up moneylining Pittsburgh, which again, with the way my college picks have been going, that means Va Tech probably wins by 15. So, but I'm going to be looking to fade Va Tech. I think they're on upset alert tonight.
I like it. Nick, upset alert. Who you got?
Well, you'll be happy to hear about this one. I'm going to TCU Horned Frogs against Oklahoma State. They've already beat them once this year, just by a point. Pretty close game. This is a TCU team coming off an overtime loss to Missouri, number 12 team in the country. Played them close all game long and should have won the game. TCU very much played a better game than Missouri did on Saturday, and so I think this is a good spot for them, conference matchup, for them to come back out and win. Oklahoma State is a team, too, that has either won by a lot or lost by a lot, and this is probably pretty evenly matched. I think Oklahoma State's even favored by 4.5 points in this one. So if you want some value, probably go to the spread if you want to play it safe. But I think TCU has a chance to win this one outright because they've already done it once this year. Wow.
Never thought I'd hear the words come out of your mouth that TCU played better ball than Mizzou. Wow.
You did.
You really love to hear it. All right, fellas. Well, you guys will probably be betting on NBA and college hoops throughout the week. Where should people head to see your picks and interact with you?
Over at Nick Yahl. Keep it easy. It's right there on the screen. You see me at Nick Yahl. It's the same thing all across my channels. Definitely go follow me over on the Book It Sports app. Ton of action going on over there. New users every day. We're breaking records, and you're missing out if you're not there already. So go over and give me a follow.
What's your record right now, Nick? Tell the people.
I think I'm in a positive. I think I'm 150 and 140 right now. So I am on like the coldest Antarctic streak I ever had. I went on cold, then I got flaming. I think I'm like 2-15 in my last 17, and most of these picks I've been taking from the users on Book It. So I think I need to get back to basics, handicap my own games, because that's usually when I'm most successful.
Man, come on. Don't throw the users under the bus like that. Take full-blown responsibility for your bad picks like I did today.
They know who they are. They're saying, oh, lock this up. Let's tail this. They know who they are, and they need to be better. They need to be better.
Do better. Jeff, what about you? Where do you usually post your picks? I know on Book It.
On Book It. I mean, you could also get me on all my other social channels at Jeff Parles. On Book It, I'm at Jeff. I was finally able to just get my regular first name as a handle, as Nick botched his whole thing when he tried to get at Nick. So a job well done by Nick on the Book It Sports app.
Well, listen, I had at Nick at first, and then I went and changed my name because I was testing the name change, and someone swooped in and got at Nick. I think at Nick Yale's better. You know, they see me, they see my beautiful face on there. It's really is great. And we got a new update coming. where people can now purchase handicapper plays. That's coming probably in the next couple days. So definitely look forward to that.
Awesome. And Jeff, you've also got a podcast about 5 days a week called the Parlay Cast. So make sure you guys are tuning into there. It goes live on Facebook and Twitter. Am I correct?
Yep, that's exactly right. We'll be live tomorrow. Matt Hamilton of NFL Network's Good Morning Football will be with me and Sean Cavanaugh, my co-host, 2:00 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, live at Book It HQ on the tweets. Just go watch it. It'll be a good time. And and I'm not going to answer my record, Liv.
That's okay. I didn't ask you for a reason. I didn't want to air your dirty laundry.
I have only had one. Well, again, I'm not going to blame the users because I'm using my own numbers. I'm not like Nick who just pass blame to the others.
Yeah, I just throw them on the bus.
Yeah, just throwing them completely under the bus. No, look, I'm in the second worst stretch of the last 5 years for me right now. And then look, it happens. This stuff is not easy. There's a reason that some are going to be able to sell picks on the Book It Sports app, and thankfully, I'm not going to be able to sell it because it would be a lot of ticked off people would have lost money if we were selling my picks on there.
We're getting blue check marks soon. It's be the first app we're actually ever verified on.
There we go.
I was verified on Twitter for 3 days, and then they realized I was not worthy of it. So what are you going to do?
Fellas, thanks for joining me. We'll definitely get you back on here soon. Maybe talk a little bit of the NFL while we still have it. But if not, NBA, maybe some NHL as well. We've got lots to talk about. So thanks for joining me, and we will see you next time.
Thank you, Olivia.